Yes, hi, good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you. Yes, you are most graciously welcome to another great show. Yes, I did promised last night during episode 111 of The Bleeding Edge that I will be coming back today because we've got unfinished business, basically. You're all welcome to the stream. This is hashtag The Bleeding Edge, episode 112, 112. Time flies. Yes, it does. And as time goes, tide waits for no one. See, I'll still remind some of you about that precious clip about time. See, there's a time to be born, there's a time to grow, and there's a time to die, and everything under the sun has got its own season. You're welcome to episode 112 of The Bleeding Edge. Yes, today is Wednesday. You heard. Wednesday of the 10th day of the 11th month of the year of our Lord 2021. The year to which in 2019 I predicted it will be the beginning of the dismantle of the rot of God in many nations of the world. And that wrath of God is going to start right from the pulpit. Yes, I'm going to acknowledge each and every one of you, by the way. I hope, see, look at this. Look at this again. Look at that. I've made many of this vibrant corporate brand of mine. And obviously you can see this is a freshly brand new made studio as well. I'm going to acknowledge all of you because we're going to go. That's why I came early today. The time in London on this live stream is exactly 16:30 today, Wednesday, the 10th day of the 11th month 2021, and it is episode 112 of The Bleeding Edge. No one saw The Bleeding Edge over a year ago. Many of your politicians now crying foul that, oh, the country or the nation called Nigeria is bleeding. But I saw that. And as a matter of fact, I knew over 2 decades ago that the nation called Nigeria is a nasty piece of a nation that does not respect human dignity right from the onset. We're going to go in there like we always do. Yeah, I know I've got some of you watching the stream from different platforms. Yes, I can see you. If you don't pass your comment, I won't be able to see you and I will not be able to acknowledge you. Let me take it from here, from the gadget on my left hand that I'm looking at directly there. I can see, yes, I can see at the top, Alaja Idayatu Muriana Folarin. I can see my dearest woman as well, who's been an avid follower of mine. Likewise, everyone. Alaja Idayatu Muriana Folarin, yes. You are very, very regular too on Akogun's show. David Hamilton Voice 234. Yes. Alaja Folake Alawiye. Good evening, you're welcome to the stream. Alaji Aremu Osholade Alakufo I can see you because you are watching the stream from Liberty Media Communications feed on Facebook. Yes, Alajare Mosholade Alakufo, welcome to the stream. Yes, Yemi Foluke, good afternoon to you. You're welcome to the stream. Narada Franklin, yes, you are equally welcome. Narada Franklin. Yeah, Narada Franklin is watching the stream live from Moscow in Russia. Yes, how are you guys? Don't forget to share it now. To my right hand device here, I can see James Coker and I can equally see Nwadike Ebere Chuku watching the stream live from HALLO magazine. And here, right in front of me, from my personal wall page, the Cripsy. Yes, I can see everything, although I can pick up every of your comment from the main studio. Yeah, at the Cripsy, I'm going to post everything. I can't post them from here, but I can post them right in front of me here. Everything is going in there. Yes, at the Cripsy, Love Doris, good evening. Yes, I can see you two there. Now, let me turn to the screen in front of me, the main console, the main studio. Yes, good evening, Nwadike Eberechukwu. At the Cripsy, you said, let me post your comment. You said, can't you see how messed up the freaking doors of IPOB is? They made a big mistake canceling no elections. You see, we probably touch on that. And what were the reasons? See, we have to look at the pros and the cons. We have to look at the consequences of their actions. We're going to go there. Yes, Narada Franklin. A lovely Wednesday evening to you all. Love Doris. At the Cripsy. Here again, you made a comment. Your maturity is uncomparable, Sir Frank. You said, I am admired from the beginning. See, at the Cripsy, I'm not Dele Momodu. Maybe you must have seen the interview that Akogun granted Dele Momodu on his show a few couple of days ago. There's a clear distinction between somebody that was born into wealth and, yes, I had the very best of everything in life. Myself and all my siblings combined, that came out of ZAB's loin. We were very privileged, very, very fortunate. We had the best of everything. But guess what? Like I said, my father said he will never leave any money or properties for any of us. But what he owed each and every one of us, he'll give without any conditions. Education, 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 education. And that's exactly what's molded all of us to be independent in our lives and for our children to be equally independent. I'm not jealous or envious of my other siblings. No. Nobody's jealous of anyone. My children are not jealous of theirs. Their children are not jealous of mine because everybody is equal in the whole family. Education, education, education. Yes, that's why I said that, by the way. Yeah. Ife Nkem Unwobodo, good evening. You are watching the stream on YouTube yourself. Yemi Foluke, I've acknowledged you. Alajare Mosholade, I've acknowledged you. Folake Alawiye, my dearest and beloved one. Yes, I love every one of you. I love everyone. Everyone. I love the world. I love the planet. I love nature. I love God. And where I am, love, love, as I've always been preaching in my life, is all about love. Because Allah, God, even Olodumare himself, is love. Alaja Idayatu, Mariana, I've seen each and every one of you. Francis, Frankie, yes, these are my party guy, man. Yes, Francis, you George Idiok. You see, that's my very good friend there. He's a Calabar man and he married a Yoruba woman. See, it's not only that. I've got a friend as well, a man that equally married a Calabar woman. Yes. Oba Matthew, good evening. Good day. Yes, thank you. Alaja Idayatu Mariana, thank you. Let me post your comment. You said, Ekuishe Takutaku. Thank you all. Guys, okay, before we go into the nitty-gritty of what we have to discuss today, I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Now, share the stream. If you haven't watched episode 111 that was showcased last night, I will indulge you to go watch it because this is an offshoot of that one. We're going to start where we stopped yesterday. Daranijo Juwon, good evening. We are starting where we stopped. Share it now. Yeah. Share the stream. Share the stream. I'm working on some stuff to which when I finished those compilation, I'm going to give you enough notice. I've been working throughout all night. And within the last few couple of days, I tell you what, if I start that research work between 12 o'clock midnight, I don't normally finish right in front of my screens, everything. 7, 8 in the morning. I went to bed 8 o'clock this morning, knowing fully well that I've been active since 2:30, 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Been active. Dre, good evening. Now, guys, share this stream because we are just about to start to begin to throw that dirty mud on some people. Yes, that dirty mud. It's not going to be easy for a handful of them. I promise you. Now, where I am going to start today, I'm going to start because when I came up and I said to some of you that the black race are their own worst enemy, many perhaps did not see the angle at which I was looking at the problem that's confronted the black man. It's not just only in Nigeria, but across the world. The whole of Black Africa stinks. Stinks to high heaven. That, in fact, in one of the clips I played you yesterday, when a father called his son, in fact, let's even start. Let me bring that and let's recap. Watch this particular clip.
Please give me 4 names of corrupt countries in Africa.
Okay, Papa. Kenya.
Okay. You take Kenya, ba?
Yes, Papa.
Okay.
Togo.
Togo.
Yes, Papa.
Togo. Togo. Yes.
Ghana.
Ghana.
Yes, Papa.
Ghana too, you follow.
Yes, Papa.
Okay.
Congo.
Congo.
Yes, Papa.
What about Nigeria?
No, nah, Papa. When counting sinners, you don't count Satan.
I played that yesterday. A child in him has got the mentality registered in his mind that Satan, Lucifer, is resident, permanently resident in Nigeria. So you don't count where Satan decided he's going to make his home. So the sins of Kenya, Togo, Ghana, and Congo is nothing comparable to where Lucifer is resident in Nigeria. His home is permanently in Nigeria. That's why, right now, your fake latex Muhammadu Buhari that they keep changing his face every now and then, to which I'm still going to prove, because I'm working on that. That's exactly what I've been working on. And I'm going to prove that technologically to buttress. I've been using technology to prove my argument, but I'm still digging deep inside it. Nigeria. The spiritual home of Satan. That's the picture in a child's head in that country. So if Lucifer is spiritually resident in that stupid location 9 called Nigeria, what future has that innocent young boy has got? What's the future? Not only him. In Nigeria, there are several billions of children in the entire Black African nations that their ludicrous leaders deliberately destroyed all their future, the gifts in terms of science, in terms of engineering, in terms of medicine, in terms of research, in terms of the arts. African leaders, they are dream killers. Black African leaders are dream killers. They don't love their people. You've just seen that. We're just getting there. Now, let me bring in this one again. because we're going to go through. That's why I said to you guys, share the stream now. Share it. I think I'm going to leave some of this. Maybe we can treat that. Now, watch. That guy mentioned Congo. Now, Congo, watch exactly the damage, the physical, mental, spiritual torture that black African leaders inflicted on their own people. Make no mistakes. Watch this next clip.
Congo crisis, in a nutshell. Since 1996, over 6 million people have died in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, so that we in the Western world can benefit from its resources.
So that we in the Western world can benefit from its resources. I'm going to hold it there, and I'm going to bring in this last clip. Again, I showcased that. I didn't go a bit deeper into this, but I'm still coming back to this clip. Now, this particular clip, guys, share it because it's really going to get interesting, and you've got a lot of information that will change the way you see your leaders, the way you see black African continent, and your right to begin to take actions into your own hands, not violently, intelligently. Watch what this young Ghanaian man said.
See, I respect the Western for one thing. For whatever resources that they came to extract from our continent, they did not put it in their pockets.
They did not put it in their pockets.
Countries
Listen.
with it. And so they built the life of their great-great-grandchildren for the next 200 years. They have a system, they have a political system, a democratic system that is constituted within their countries, and that protects them. That gives them benefits. That gives them incentives.
Correct.
We, on the other hand, doesn't have the opportunity to go to another man's country to steal their gold, their oil, and come and build our continent.
Okay, I'll hold it there. I will hold that there. Now, let me bring in back again that particular clip that I wanted you to please have a look at. Now, watch it. It's coming your way now.
Congo crisis, in a nutshell. Since 1996, over 6 million people have died in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, so that we in the Western world can benefit from its resources.
Did you get that? Now picture
Congo
that.
is extremely rich in gold.
Now picture exactly what that young man, I played his tape for you. Now let's carry on.
Diamonds, copper, cobalt, tin, uranium, coltan, and many other precious minerals. Congo has 64% of the Earth's coltan.
Can you hear
a
that?
precious mineral that is needed for our modern electronics like
Yes.
iPads,
Everything.
computers, laptops, PlayStations, Xboxes, Nintendos, jet engines, inkjet printers, and the list goes on
and on.
In 1946, the Strategic Minerals Stockpiling Act was passed to obtain and stockpile cobalt.
You see that?
With the largest reserves of cobalt on the planet, Congo was targeted.
You see?
Cobalt is a strategic and critical mineral
Listen to that.
is essential for our aerospace,
Did you
military,
hear that?
and defense industries. As the United States and the United Kingdom
Yeah.
provide financial aid and military aid to countries such as Rwanda and Uganda, these neighboring countries plunder Congo's natural resources
You see that?
as the death toll rises. In 4 studies, the United Nations implicated multinational companies in sourcing coltan from Congo stating that these
Listen to
companies
that.
serve as the engine of the conflict in the DRC.
You see?
As the world benefits from Congo's riches, Congolese men, women, and children
maimed.
continue to be raped,
Who? You
tortured,
see, who is responsible
starved,
for that?
displaced, and
Who is practically responsible for that? They are politicians, they are leaders who are greedy, and they are bastards in nature. See, it's not that the white man are taking or extracting those precious metal beneath under Congo's land for free. They are being paid. But because they are being settled at the top, given peanuts, the Western world will give them peanuts. Now, look at the scenario this way. Look at the way your ruthless, heartless politicians in that nasty piece of contraption called Nigeria treat you guys. Okay, let's take as a benchmark a case study. A case study. The recently concluded Anambra State election, to which IPOB said no election, but suddenly something went wrong again. Maybe top guys from the IPOB hierarchy got bribed, and the election came. And then, guess what? One of the contestants of the gubernatorial elections in the recently concluded Anambra State, Andy Uba, to be very, very precise, said to the people they subjected into extreme poverty that they will give them the language they understand, and that they will go into all the nooks and crannies and the villages. What's the language? They are milking money at the top, and they are giving them peanuts. The same thing is happening in the southwest. The same thing is happening in the north. Now, what is the difference between these? Now, let's fire on.
Killed. In 2010, a leaked United Nations report cited crimes of genocide may have been committed by the Rwandan troops.
You see that?
There is very little media coverage on what is actually happening in Congo. When Congo is covered by the media, it is often about rebel groups committing mass atrocities. What these reports do not cover are the funding, training, and the arming of these rebels.
Yeah, it is what the Western world wants you to hear, and not what is on ground. Thank God for the social media now. Likewise, the problems, the killings, the raping, the banditry as they describe them, but I will describe them as terrorists, kidnappers, bandits, herdsmen killers, Boko Haram, all these killings and everything right all the way from 1999 are being buried. They don't want the world to see it. You see, the man at the top in Congo, knowing fully well that, of course, the white folks will give him starched of dollars. That's all what he's interested in. These leaders are not interested in building infrastructures and many of the things that will make life comfortable for their own citizen. Let's dig on.
Groups by foreign governments. Nothing is ever mentioned about the Western-backed coups, wars, assassinations, or the involvement of foreign corporations in the looting of Congo. 48 women are raped every hour.
Can you hear that?
Millions are displaced. Over 6 million dead. Half are children under the age of 5. What is happening in Congo is a silent holocaust.
silent Holocaust. That's why I said it's really going to be nasty and murky. Yes, guys, trust me. That's why I said share it. Because we're not done yet. We're just warming up. We're not done. This is a warm-up process. See that? That was Congo. See, it is an unending war. It is what? An unending war. Now, I want to bring in this into your screen. If you know, let me first of all warn you that the graphic you are about to see, I'll put the warning that some of the materials that may contain extreme violent contents that some people may find disturbing. So I will indulge viewers' discretion at this point. Okay? I've just posted that warning. And that warning is there for you because the next graphic, the next clip is just too graphic for some people. I mean, the next two clips actually. But let me make it one. If you are not, in fact, let me see if I can actually bring in the warning graphics into the studio myself. Okay, pap. That will take a long time because I'll have to search for it. Let me bring in the studio. Yeah, I'll bring it in. Now, this one. It is coming. Look away. Look away. And that's the warning. It contains very, very disturbing content. Look away. It is not sexual, but extremely violent and disturbing. Here it is.
La
61 years to independence. See, what baffled me most is the fact that that guy's been chopped down from his torso, and you can still see he's gone. He was gone. And then somebody there shouting, La ilaha illallah. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because there is no amount of patching up, even if that guy was even rushed into the theater to be operated upon. No. Surgeons will be unable to actually patch that battered bodies together. That, see, Things that you will never see in a civilized democracy. That's what you get in a shithole. And you get that constantly in that shithole called Nigeria. See, Nigeria is the only country in the world that I know that they value the life of a cow or a goat or even their chicken far more than humans. They don't value dogs because they eat dogs. If your dog should go astray and if they should get hold of your dog, if you are in Nigeria, your dog will end up straight in the pot. See, that's what we keep getting from that stupid, nasty piece of a contraption called Nigeria. Yesterday. Now, you've just seen that. Now, let me quickly again, because I did make reference to this particular one too yesterday. And then I'm going to go into the Yoruba stuff. The Yoruba self-determination. In fact, before we go into that Yoruba self-determination, there's another one I want to show you. Now, this one in particular, it was shown yesterday. You see, you've seen that one in Nigeria, you've seen Congo. You've seen Congo. Now, this one will bring salt tears to your eyes. This next one will definitely bring salt tears to your eyes. God bless the Queen. It's all about using your head, your brain. The UAE that developed their own area, their countries, within 30 years, they turned the desert into a first world. It took them 30 years. Guess what? Because they've got visionary leaders. And still, look, yet the money that United Arab Emirates realized in when crude oil was discovered on their land, they turned it around. They turned their nation around. Quickly, the Middle East then became UAE, Dubai especially, then became the hub, the commercial hub of the Middle East. Not even Israel. Because Israel is in between Europe, the Middle East as well. And now Israel wants to claim Africa too, that they are Africans. You see, this next clip will bring salt tears to your eyes. Watch it. Black humiliation.
This is Joshua. He's hungry. Today, he's not eaten any food. Literally nothing. He's not just hungry, he's starving. In all reality, Joshua will die of hunger-related disease, maybe not today, but not that too long in the future. He'll join the other 11,000 children who die daily of hunger-related diseases. Now, Joshua is not in some barren desert like the Sahara where there is no food. Literally, a 5-minute walk up this hill, there's a small supermarket where you can buy as much food as you really want or would need. Joshua's issue is that he's an orphan. His guardian neighbor is trying to raise her own 3 children by herself and then also look after Joshua and his little sister. But she has no job. How do you put food in the belly of your own children, let alone your dead neighbor's children? She tries, but what's her chances? She's got no education, she's got no unemployment benefits, she's got no social security. It's not that she's fallen through the cracks of the system, there is no system.
There's no system.
She literally has no way to put food into Joshua's belly. This is Joshua. He watched today as some lucky children went to school. He so wishes he could go to school, but it costs 50 cents to go to school here. And he hasn't got 50 cents. 50 cents. He's not alone. Most people in this slum, they live on $1 or $2 a day. How do you take the dollars that you earn and pay rent, buy some food, and still have 50 cents left over to pay for school fees? You just can't. He won't go to school ever. No education, no learning. He'll remain illiterate, not able to read or write. And Joshua will stay here and die in this slum. And along with maybe the other 60 million children in the next decade who live in the slums on our planet. Now, I know that the Bible has lots to tell us about the poor. In fact, there are over 2,000 verses in the Bible that tell us who seemingly read and follow the Bible that we should take the side of the poor and the oppressed. And we all know that if we follow Jesus, we're following someone who himself was poor. But theology is never done in a vacuum. You see, it's one thing to believe that God loves the poor. It's another thing to see it firsthand or see it through video and say, okay, God loves the poor, and because I love that same God, I should love the poor also. But who we listen to determines what we hear. Where we stand determines what we see. What we do determines who we are. So who are you? See, Joshua's only problem is that he was born in the wrong place.
Born in the wrong place.
He didn't choose to be born.
He never chose to be born in that
So
part.
should he be condemned to a living hell now because of
bad leaders? Stupid, moronic, oxymoron
something
leaders.
else is about to happen to Joshua and his family. It's about to get dark in this slum. And there's no lights. There's no police present. I mean, during the day, we see the chaos, we see the trash, we see the smell of sewage, we see people walking around, we see them barely surviving by their living.
You see?
But at dark, we don't see what happens. 1 out of every 3 women in Haruma have been beaten or abused. Nearly 1 out of 2 10-year-old to 19-year-old girls, 45% of them, have been raped in this slum.
45% of them raped.
Turn the sun off, and
Black
this slum
Africa.
and little Joshua live in fear of violence. And in the dark of night, no one knows what happens. No one's here filming. It's hidden. But it's
hidden.
real.
It's real.
But this is Joshua. He's still here. He can't escape. And what did he do wrong? Nothing. Nothing. What we do determines who we are.
Correct.
Is there someone out there who's willing to walk the way of Jesus, to be his hands and his feet? Is there something or someone who can pierce the darkness and bring light into even the darkest place on earth? So here's the good news. There are some incredible people who live in this slum who are walking the way of Jesus to help Joshua, to give him food, to give him a safe place to grow up, an education to empower him. You know, for 17 cents, food can be put in his belly. $35 a month will give him an education to empower him out of the cycle of poverty. And the good news is, you can join this movement.
Yes.
You can be a part
Join the
of
movement.
helping this Joshua and many other Joshuas. Join the movement to kick extreme poverty off the face of the planet and live out the gospel of Jesus Christ in a most powerful, real way.
Yes, you can actually help that charity by giving them your donations to help foster the poor African children whose resources, God's given resources, their leaders turned into their individual pockets. Who knows? Maybe Joshua could have been one of the finest designers and engineers that God had sent to the surface of the planet. But the greed, the corruption, enshrined into the veins and the hearts of the black man in Africa deprived Joshua that privilege to be who God made him to be. And that is why many of those African leaders will not end up well. I once said, it is only the white folks that understand the gravity and the true meaning of the word love, L-O-V-E. Those 4-letter words. And it is only the white race, Upper Russia, the white people, that understand one of the spiritual laws that governed the universe. The law of give and take. You have to give, you have to release to the universe so that the universe will bounce back triple-fold onto what you've given out into nature, because we are part of nature. But African leaders don't understand, and that's why in many of the civilized societies of the world there are social security benefits to help those that are poor or those that are in need of assistance. It's not that the Western world is richer. You saw it yourself. Everything that the whole world need, from yesteryears to today, everything is in Africa. But you have, guess what? Moronic, hopeless, useless leaders that cannot think straight. in their head. All what they do is chop, 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 chop. Bad leaders everywhere, all over Africa. Bad, 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 bad. See, I told you it's not going to be easy. Now, wait a minute. Before I go into, let me see this. Should I start this? Yes, before I go, I take the next step. Now, let me bring this into the studio so that it is laying there. And I'm looking at it right in front of me. Guys, if you haven't shared the stream, please share it now. You see, 1999 to the present state, to the present day, is how many years? 21 years. Whilst in 1999, okay, Nigeria entered into another new phase of democratic dispensation. The UAE, as another example, they were busy building their own paradise. You lot in that stupid nation that you lot called Nigeria, all your politicians were busy chopping, and the money realized was nothing compared to what UAE realized in oil. Before, during Shagari's period, your rogue politicians such as Umaru Diko, Ebonyagbola, Chief Adisa Akinloye, Richard Akinjide, Joseph Wires, and all those rogue politicians. In MPN, National Party of Nigeria, between 1979 and 1983, they looted Nigeria dry. How many years ago? None of them, you'll never see any of them traveling to United Arab Emirates. Those period, United Arab Emirates, they've only got just one aircraft in their fleet. One. 1979, when Obasanjo was handing over the government to Shehu Shagari, go and check. Over, I think it was over 30 or close to 40 aircrafts. Nigeria Airways, one of the biggest airline, in fact, the biggest airline in the entire Africa, not South African airline. United Arab Emirates, they were Lilliputians to Nigerians in 1979. All your politicians, you'll never see them going to UAE. When they steal money, they'll bring it. They don't even go to the United States. It is the UK, because it is only 6 hours. You see, from 1979 right up to 1999, see, those new breed of politicians that took over in 1999, they saw the way those politicians in 1979 stole, and they built and built, and then there was no culture of maintenance. And then somebody else will come in, do this, and then the next governor will come in, just like you witnessed in Anambra State when Hope Uzodinma came in. No, Imo State. And then everything Rochas Okorocha built, boom, destroyed. Kaput. Now, 1999, I repeat, UAE was still building. They were in their head. They've envisaged what the kind of paradise they want to build. It is they drafted in some of the finest architects around the world, the finest engineers around the world, everything that is of the best, because their visionary leader wanted the very best for their people. 1999. They've envisaged how the United Arab Emirates will be. Saudi Arabia was against that development when they opened up their territory as a hub for the Middle East. 35 years after, Saudi Arabia is now having to change all their draconian laws, but now will have to surrender to what the world now wants in the new world order. It is the new world order. You either embrace it or you fall aside, because the world is not static. The world is not going to wait for you. And let me tell you, the new world order is all about technological revolution. And you can't fight technology. Let me assure you, embrace technology now, because you can't fight it. Because I'm a student of publishing management. You can't fight technology. You have to embrace technology. You want to fight technology, you're fighting the wrong battle. Because technology will defeat you. That's why the same technology that's currently revolutionizing the whole world, that's exactly why it is convenient for you, anywhere you are on the surface of the planet, to watch right in front of your device some of the real news in its purest form, research in its purest form that no mainstream television network can bring onto your screen. This is what technology has done to open up the loop in that communications gap for the rest of the world. Let's go back. Black people, black on black. Black life does not matter. No maintenance culture. They don't take care of their own people. They're probably the most cursed race on the surface of the planet. In fact, they're the cursed race on the surface of the planet. I'm really, really angry with the black race. A white man will never tell you. But I'm a black man, so nobody can label me as a racist, because I'm one of you. And I'm angry because both your leaders and yourselves, you don't love one another. You don't love one another. In Yoruba agitation, Yorubas, they continue to deceive themselves. Let's watch this clip, because I'm really terrified of the black race. I'm terrified. Watch this clip.
Hi, I'm Nicole. We've come to show you what we have for you on business. Tinapa, Nigeria's $450 million white elephant.
White elephant.
Tinapa should be a showcase of Nigerian dynamism, a commercial hub for West Africa raking in millions of dollars. But 10 years after it opened, the resort in South Nigeria is a ghost town and has become a symbol of monumental waste.
Ghost town, monumental waste, $450 million.
Tinapa back on track. But the few visitors who venture inside are quickly disillusioned. Jet one apart from a few idle employees, not a soul stirs in the endless aisles of shops and warehouses that should have made the capital of Cross River State, Calabar, famous across Nigeria's south. It's empty there, we have no clients, it's like a cemetery, said one shop assistant in DA Viva, which sells the popular brand of rapper skirts. Many have left already, he added, pointing to shuttered premises. A huge supermarket still displays clothes, furniture and foreign-made knickknacks, but in virtual darkness. The electricity was cut off some time ago. Inside, an old man snoozes in the suffocating heat. Tinapa, with its 80,000 square meters, 861,000 square feet, of warehouses and shops, cost $450 million, 413 million euros, to build. But it has become a financial black hole for its backers. Economic development. At the turn of the century, Nigeria was on the point of becoming Africa's biggest economy and leading oil producer. Newly returned to civilian rule, everything seemed possible. A handful of businessmen and architects got together and imagined an international center of commerce and tourism in a free trade zone. Nigeria's biggest banks fell over themselves to finance the project, which was opened in 2007. At that time, everyone was excited. Tinapa was going to boost economic development of the whole region and create thousands of jobs, said Basindem, who was in charge of the project. It aimed to attract Nigerian millionaires, who ordinarily jetted off to Dubai or London to go shopping, as well as make Cross River a commercial crossroads on the Atlantic coast. A plush 242-room hotel with a view over the lagoon and a water park with slides were built to cater for the cream of high society and their families. Alongside luxury tourism, imported goods would provide for Nigeria and its neighbors such as Cameroon, Chad and Niger, competing with the country's commercial capital, Lagos. Everything was going well at first, said Ndem. At the peak, in 2009, we generated $30 million of revenue. But we faced a lot of resistance from the customs. They really didn't want the tax-free zone to work. Goods were supposed to be exempt from import duties in the free trade zone. But from the beginning, the customs, which has a reputation for rampant corruption, blocked containers destined for Tinapa in the ports, paralyzing business. For the economist and blogger Nonso Obekili, Tinapa's downfall was largely because of a lack of existing infrastructure to transport goods, bad roads and an average-sized port. It was a wide project conceived with the deep sea port, which was supposed to enable big ships to come to Calabar, said Obekili. It was the responsibility of the federal government, but finally it wasn't done, he told AFP. In the end, no big-name jeweler or pret-a-porter line wanted to invest in the paradise promised by its promoters, and the hotel remained desperately empty. The cinema studios have likewise been unable to attract Nollywood stars, who have largely preferred to stay in Lagos. The Cross River State government has invited the President and Chief Executive Officer of Roper Corporation Inc., Mr. Robert Glover, for negotiation over the sales of a multi-million naira Tinapa business
$450 million
capital
project.
I write on the directive of His Excellency, Senator Professor Ben-Aid, Governor of Cross River State, Nigeria, to acknowledge receipts of your letter dated March 11, 2018, wherein you expressed interest to gain the liquidated assets of Tinapa with the associated licenses and assets. The Cross River State government notes your interest in acquiring Tinapa and wishes to inform you that arrangements are ongoing with the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, to meet with you and chart the way forward.
This is why I
Please be
said
notified that
share
the
it.
meetings between your good self, the Cross River State government and AMCON have been scheduled to hold between 16th and the 18th of July 2019. The meeting between the state government and your organization in Calabar, including a visit to Tinapa, is scheduled to take place on Tuesday, 16th, while the tripartite meeting at Abuja will hold on Thursday, the 18th of July
$450 million
2019 accordingly.
White
Kindly
Elephant
furnish us
project
with details of all the parties that
during
shall be coming to Nigeria
Donald
for the
Duke's
engagement
period
with your
when he was
organization,
governor,
to enhance the
1999.
formal invitations and to also fast-track the visa process, Margaret Anyalachi stated. The Cross River State government has concluded plan to sell Tinapa Resort. This is as American investors has indicated interest in the $600 million Moribond facility in Cross River State. The first phase of the project, fashioned after the similar massive one-stop shopping and tourism resort of Dubai, was conceived and built by former Governor Donald Duke and commissioned on April 2, 2002 to boost business in the state and the...
I'm going to pause that. I'm going to pause it. And the reason why I want to pause that, see, good that Donald Duke, the former governor of Cross River State, came up with such a fantastic project. The sums involved, $450 million. That's not a chicken change. That's almost close to $500 million. I'm not going to go into some details that are very personal to the Duke's family, which I know. All that I want to focus on here is that vibrant project that Donald Duke came up with when he became the governor. Of course, somebody who is vibrant, who lived in the UK. And by the way, if you don't know, Donald Duke is the senior brother of Mama Calabar in the UK. And when Mama Calabar first came out in the 80s, I was one of the very first few people that patronized Helen Duke at Willesden Lane. Very small shop like this. But because I love afang and edikai kong soup too much, so I always patronize Mama Calabar she started from Willesden Lane, and Femi and the brother were just across the road in Kilburn. Phase 2. Was it phase 2? Yeah, across the road. Mike Apple used to play there that time. I've forgotten the name of their restaurant. It's gonna come into my brain very shortly. So Helen Duke, Mama Calabar, who later moved when the business started expanding and more customers were coming in, and Mama Calabar Duke Helen on Willesden Lane then suddenly became a household name because we were able to propagate. I was like, we were able to carry more people to eat afang and edikai kong. I'm talking about the 80s and the 90s. She moved from Willesden Lane to Hendon. We followed her. She moved from Hendon to Wembley. I still followed her. Wembley, just a few doors away from Wembley Stadium, affluent part of Wembley. What I'm trying to say here is that Donald Duke, hats off to him, conceived the Tinapa project because as a foresight visionary leader, saw that Dubai was coming to compete with them, and he quickly erected a similar thing that will tie our own people internally and not visit Dubai. Let's listen to it. Oh, no. Yeah.
Country at large. But due to poor and inconsistent government policies and other factors, Tinapa died and remained a white elephant project.
Government policies! The Fulani people, because they were controlling the customs.
To acquire the facility
they
by
destroyed
the
Tinapa.
And president of Roper Corporation Inc., Robert Glover, inviting him for further negotiations. Cross River's $600 million Moribond Tinapa facility for sale. The $600 million Moribund Tinapa facility in Cross River State is up for sale as American investors
You
express
see that?
interest.
Just watch, listen.
Tinapa is a paradise lost in Nigeria.
Paradise lost in
It could
Nigeria.
be said that the Tinapa business and resort, Calabar, Cross River State, is dead and buried.
Dead and buried.
After gasping for breath, for some time, as it were, the death knell was sounded in the wake of the End SARS protest.
Did you hear that?
On October 24th, the $450 million facility, which was built by the Governor Donald Duke administration and intended to be a mini Dubai in Nigeria.
Mini
was attacked by
Dubai
over
in
2,000
Nigeria.
hoodlums.
Did you hear this?
Like hawks, the rough
Mini Dubai in Nigeria. That was the vision Donald Duke created because he was the governor. He wanted Cross River State in his hearts of hearts to be the business hub, to be the commercial hub of the South, because that state, apart from the fact that it is oil rich, it is sitting right on top of the Atlantic Ocean. Let's listen.
next congregated and descended on Tinapa. They looted everything they could find and destroyed what they could not steal.
End SARS.
Even the Lakeside Hotel, a 244-room edifice,
People went
which is
inside
beside a
and then
development,
loot everything.
was
Listen.
looted and vandalized. Brand new vehicles and forklifts were burned. Now, Tinapa is finished, lying prostrate. An impeccable source told the reporter on October 24, 2020.
You look at the structure, look at the ecology of that area. Can't you see beauty?
The creek stormed Tinapa with their guns. They loaded their boats with goods and left. Many of the things looted were moved to Calabar South.
You see that?
Some thieves also came from Agogo,
Thieves!
freely loaded their vehicles with investors' goods at
Did you hear
Tinapa
that?
and left. The crowd was so much. It was like a carnival. They looted endlessly.
They looted.
Everything you see there now is empty.
Everything
They
is
are
empty.
no carcasses. What they could not take, they destroyed or
They
burned.
destroyed what they could not
They
take.
looted the Lakeside Hotel completely, the games arcade, everywhere.
You see?
Many of
Beautiful
the buildings
places.
have cracks. Another source said that the hoodlums even threatened the Obong of Calabar, saying they would come for him.
You see that?
So, for day,
The hoodlums threatened the Obong of Calabar the same way your stupid and nonentic agitators in the Yoruba self-determination are threatening hell to be unleashed on our Obas, telling them if they don't conform, they will come for them. Absolute nonsense. Garbage. I don't believe in head-on confrontation. Just like my dad. You see, my pen and my mouth is my sword that I will use to destroy my opponent. I'm not going to carry any arms or cutlass. No. Because I don't believe in that. I can silently kill you with my words and my pen. Hoodlums threatened the Obong of Calabar the same way they're threatening the agitators from the southwest are threatening all our kings. That is a wrong move. You should be prostrating to them because you don't know what is going on in their head. You don't know the method at which they want to take. They know your pains. In as much as they are inside the caucus. Look, you need someone that is intelligent. Someone that knows what diplomacy is all about. So that we can negotiate ourselves out of the crisis through diplomatic means. After all, independence. If the British decided they were not going to give you independence, there was nothing you could do in 1960. They were the one that even suggested, yes, Western Nigeria should have got its own independence in 1957, just alongside with Ghana. When Awolowo said, no, we will wait for our brothers in the north. Your independence was not negotiated under arms and teeth. It was papers upon papers and presentations at Lancaster House, here in the UK. Hoodlums threatening the Obong of Calabar. Let's listen.
Obong arranged youths who kept vigil in his palace. For 3 days, the hoodlums insisted that they want to invade Obong's palace.
Can you hear that?
One really wouldn't know what they were looking for in Obong's palace. I think it's because of the level of poverty in the area. Nobody...
Poverty. High level of poverty. It is not only high level, extreme poverty. Did you hear that? Extreme poverty. This is no longer high level, but extreme poverty. Let's listen.
Comes to work in Tanapa anymore. Scrap metal people are moving around.
No one goes to work. No one goes to work there. Look at all this beautiful
who gave his name
things.
simply as Stanley, said the hoodlums were using the End SARS protest to loot and settle political scores. Some big politicians in the state used it as opportunity to settle political scores.
Okay, so they've used the End SARS. Okay, they've used the End SARS to settle political scores. Could that mean those that antagonized Donald Duke when he was governor and erected that edifice in Cross River State are the ones sponsoring those hoodlums to destroy everything that the state should have cherished? Look, this scenario I am talking about is like the dome, the Millennium Dome in Greenwich. This was not Tony Blair's idea. This was Sergeant Major's ideas when he was Prime Minister. Sergeant Major was defeated and Tony Blair because he promised the British citizens, the British children, I want to educate. And those children that Tony Blair, God bless Tony Blair, minus Iraq, those children, Tony Blair, educated today, are now running the United Kingdom. They are the ones running the country now. See? Remember the first, the Ghanaian man that you heard when he said, no, it is about education. And the only gift any parent can give to their children is education. The best gift that any nation can give to their future generations is education. You see? You're now beginning to see where all your politicians destroyed the educational system that Awolowo created. Solid. I was a very proud, product of that free education of the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and because it was rock solid. It was rock solid. Probably one of the finest. See? Let's carry on.
There were enough hoodlums to do everyone's bidding. So,
enough hoodlums to do everyone's bidding
and do damage. Some cult people also used it in their supremacy battle. It was as if the devil descended on the city of Calabar that day. You had an army of over 2,000 people running around, looting, vandalizing and setting fire to components. A source, however, lamented that nothing is being said about the individuals whose investment were destroyed in Tanapa. Dream Tanapa covers about 80,000
Look at the
square
destruction.
kilometers of land.
You see?
According to the Duke administration, Tanapa is part of the African Renaissance,
African
a place where
Renaissance!
Africans can come together to do business. Tanapa is a mixture of business and is one of the greatest attractions in our state.
You see that?
It is expected to play a catalytic role in establishing Calabar as a trade and distribution hub in West Africa while at the same time.
Did you hear that? That was the main goal, to establish Calabar as the commercial hub in West Africa. And guess what? The government, even though it was Obasanjo that was in power, a Yoruba man from the south, but the controller of customs that made Tinapa project hell is a Fulani man. He was a Fulani man. Customs has always been headed by the Fulanis. And the customs, you see, the water is in the south. I've never seen any Yoruba man heading the customs. I've never seen any southerner heading the custom. I've never seen any southerner heading the immigration. It is always Fulanis. So they know the power that this Calabar hub will bring in terms of revenue. But then and again, many of the super rich companies, mega ones around the world, because it was Donald Duke's vision, dream, to actually bring in those super player in the field around the world. We're talking about organizations such as Burberry. We're talking about name them, Godiva, chocolates, everything, so that people, you don't have to travel to either Dubai or to the UK. Talk of any exotic drinks, everything in Calabar, because there is a seaport as well. In fact, Donald Duke's intention was to dredge the seaport so that big ships full of container load can dock in Calabar rather than in Lagos, because that will reduce the cost of goods that probably will be shipped from Lagos to Calabar. If the ship should dock in Calabar after dredging the seaport, then that will reduce the cost of how much goods they will tag on their prices. The prices that they will tag on their goods. Guess what? The customs headed by the Fulanis, even though Obasanjo was the president, frustrated everything. And for those wanting to do business in Tinapa that were foreign companies, such as Burberry, name all the designers you can ever think of around the whole world. All of them wanted a piece of the action of Tinapa. Let's listen.
Providing a unique tourism experience that will inform the growth and enhancement of the tourism sector in Calabar, Cross River State and Nigeria. Calabar, with its natural potential for tourism, through the unique vision of Tinapa, will transform itself into a global trading hub reminiscent of great international free zones like Hong Kong and Dubai.
Did you hear that?
While commissioning the project
free zone like Hong Kong and Dubai.
2007, former President Olusegun Obasanjo had said, "My great delight is informed by the fact that we are today celebrating the actualization of the audacious vision painstakingly initiated,
You see that?
devotedly implemented and amicably We must applaud your government for successfully embarking upon and courageously executing this project, which is surely going to change the face of Cross River State forever.
And it should have done that.
TANAPA, no doubt, represents one giant step in the direction of unprecedented economic growth and regeneration for our continent.
Yeah.
When the reporter visited TANAPA in September 2012, it was doing fairly well.
In
It was
2012.
bubbling.
Bubbling.
Fun seekers were all over the place.
You see that?
Having fun. It was a preferred location for filmmakers.
You see?
TANAPA later
Nollywood
had challenges that
even
affected its
had
operations.
interest too in Tinapa.
One of such was the non-release of TANAPA-bound consignment by the Nigeria Customs Service,
Did you hear that?
NCS0, which brought severe hardship to the operators,
Severe
investors and
hardship.
customers.
Listen,
However, former Governor Lyle Emote promised to revive the TANAPA dream. He said, there are regulatory challenges, operational challenges. We need to work with the customs, which is a federal agency,
hear that?
not a
Federal
state
agency.
to ensure that, operationally, you have a smooth operation so that you don't have the customs becoming a bottleneck for shoppers and, of course, the customs should also not be a bottleneck for tenants who will
you
be
see that?
living in
The
variety of
customs,
visitor zones.
the Nigerian customs
You
and
have to challenge
excise
the
killed
regulations
Tinapa
dealing with
project.
various agencies. The regulatory procedures have to be addressed. Can anyone save Tinapa? This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog same time tomorrow.
Black on black. Do you now? You've just seen it. Tell me if black race loved themselves. I've just given you an instance. Sir John Major, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, started the Millennium Dome project. He never finished it. Tony Blair got into number 10 Downing Street, never stopped the Dome project. Tony Blair completed the Millennium Dome project. Continuity. And the Millennium Dome project, since it was declared open that Millennium night, midnight. Look, go and see the exotic properties, huge developments wrapped around the Dome area in Greenwich. For the white people, development never stops. Dome that was commissioned into the new millennium, year 2000. Year 2000. It's like a newly built structure yesterday. Like a newly built structure yesterday. And you want to tell me everything is well with you, black race? Nothing is well with you, black race. The white man will not tell you, because if the white man should say that, they will accuse the white man of being racist. But I am one of you, and I'm telling you, and anybody listening to what I am saying, they know that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Let's take some of your comment, and then tomorrow we're gonna carry on, because I've got a lot. I'm still working on something that, oh boy, maybe I'm going to crack up Nigeria very soon. I'm working on that. See, I like to present my own case, one step after the other. Step by step. The Yoruba people will say, Jeje Loroye. I'll just be putting it, shocking everything for you. Yeah. Yeah. Let's take all your comments. let's read through all your comments from the bottom. Yes, because I've not really acknowledged a handful of you. Some they've been going in and out. Yes, Bamidele Michael Akorede, good evening to you. Dre, let me start from you because you just posted. This is another one of your classic. Dre, thank you so much. Did you share the stream, by the way? I'm sure you've done that because I trust you. Yes, always classic. Thank you, Dre. Dre is watching the live stream all the way from Birmingham in the Midlands, ladies and gentlemen. One of my very regular. He knows how to get me anytime because he's got my details. Yes. Yes, Dre, thank you. You said you did. Bamdele Michael Akorede, you're welcome. Dre, again, you posted. You said that dome has generated billions of pounds since its launch. You are absolutely right. Well, based on you are here. We are all here. Yes. Yemi Foluke, you just posted, and I'm going to post your comment. You said this is another big eye-opener. There's lots more coming. I said, I don't fight. I won't carry any cutlass or any gun or any ammunitions. It is my mouth and my pen that will destroy. I guarantee you. That's why, if it is possible for them, they probably, you see, Abakari wanted to inject me probably with an HIV virus disease when they said I contacted when I started my campaign, and they were not comfortable in Asorok that when I presented the argument that Muhammadu Buhari died and I destroyed publicly and openly their shithole, useless passport that cannot even take me to anywhere, that the High Commissioner at the time, Tafida, begged me. I never wanted it. Thank you, Yemi Foluke. I'm still coming back. Let me take the other people. Let me take the other people's comments. I've got loads of comments from everyone. Yes, Mario Thompson, let's check what you have to say. No futuristic development will ever happen as long as Nigeria continues to exist as an entity. Oh, thank you for that classic, Mario Thompson. Alaja Fuluke Alawiye, this was your post. You said, absolutely. Thank you for that, my dear. Yeah, Alaja Fulake Alawiye, you said, your son is one of them. I don't understand that. Oh, yes, about those ones that Tony Blair promised education, and he definitely fulfilled that. Thank you for that, Alaja Folake Alawiye, for that. Yes, they are running. You see, your son, my own children too. They are part and parcel of the system. That they are part and parcel of Tony Blair's generation, to which Tony Blair gave them the gift of life through high quality education, not substandard. Thank you, Dre, for that thumb up. Ajendu Oludare, yes, I've seen you before. He said, in England, if England had relied on words and pen, there would never have been England. If England had relied on words and pen, there would never have been England. Are you sure? It was words and pen. It was within their own people. They never fought themselves, mind you. The problem as at that time was that France will want to fight England. England wants to fight France. Russia wants to fight. Germany wants to invade England and France. It was warring faction between between them. And if you remember the 19, the demarcation of Africa in Berlin. It was all about Western world, inclusive of America, pulling themselves together to settle their scores just because of Africa, because they know the potentials in Africa, so that France will not fight over where Britain is, and Britain will not fight over France's territory. That's why you've got Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia as British colony on the west coast of Africa. But I think it was Berlin Conference of 1819 or something like that. Let me see if I can find the Berlin Conference for you. Okay, let me see if I can bring in the Berlin Conference, and that will buttress this argument rather than me talking at the very top of my head. I know I've got, let me see this folder, Berlin Conference. Let's see. Yes, I've got it here. Do I have it here? Yeah. Yes, I think I have one of that here, and I'm going to bring it in for you to see. Agenda. Now, look at this. You see, you can see Africa. This was the illusion. Agenda Oludare, 1884 Berlin Conference. This was where the demarcation started. If England had relied on words and pen, look, they were fighting themselves. All because of territories in Africa. So in order not to cross path, this was why the Berlin Conference came, and that was the demarcation. You can look at Africa, how it was divided up. Berlin Conference 1884. You have to be conversant with your history to know exactly what happened. But within the UK, the British never fought themselves. What happened was that before that civilization, see, some children were educated, some children were not educated, but then within themselves, in the Houses of Parliament, they decided collectively to start building. Dre, let me come to your comment. Imagine what that part of Biafra land could have become only if the Fulani terrorist cabals allowed it to come to life. Yes, correct, Dre. But they never wanted it because they know the power, and because they don't really want another port in Calabar. Because if Donald Duke should dredge another deep sea port in Calabar, Donald Duke will be in control of that port. Donald Duke will not allow a Fulani man to head the port, because he was ready to utilize the resources and the funds from the state to build the port. You see, you have to reason sometimes, but a lot of people are not reasoning. See, the point is, because when Donald Duke was doing that, some people that wanted that post, that are ready to lick the bollocks of the Fulanis, they're just round the corner, waiting to frustrate everything. And that was why Tinapa was frustrated. No continuity. Dre, I hope that answers your question. Dre, again, you said the Nigerian government and Fulani cabals simply destroyed the place and don't want such development in Biafra land. Absolutely. Narada Franklin, you said the Tinapa project concept was initiated by Donald Duke in 2002 during his tenure. Yes, as governor of Cross River State. Yes. Every other governor that assumed office in Cross River State after Donald Duke was responsible / complicit in the destruction of. It's a long comment. The destruction, was responsible / complicit in the destruction of the Napa project. Yes, I knew that was exactly what you wanted to say. Dre, let's take your comment now. You said, I think they should sell it to a foreign investor so they keep Fulani cabals at bay. No foreign investors will want to buy that. Nigeria is not a hot destination for any foreign investors. And that's why many foreign investors are already pulling out when Muhammadu Buhari became president, because remember the white man that says, sometime many people think he was particularly horrible to Africans. He said, the only problem with the African leaders is that they should reduce taxes. I'm going to touch on this. Part of the research I've been doing will highlight this. That's why you have to catch up with me, because when Muhammadu Buhari came to power, when they drafted him into power, because Tunde Diagbon, the Yoruba Fulani man, and Ibrahim Babangida refused to step down for one another during that coup that brought Buhari to power. See, Buhari implemented a draconian tax system that actually drove foreign investors away from Nigeria when he was military junta. Dre, you said to, no, it is not Enfield though. I don't think Mama Calabar went to Enfield. I wouldn't know, but I when she moved on to Hendon, that was when I went back. Okay, now look at this. Dre, isn't it obvious? It is the handiwork of the Nigerian government and the Fulani cabals who killed the project, simply because they want such development in that part of they don't want such development in that part of Biafran land, is what you want to say. Mario Thompson, let's see your comment. This is also an evidence of war against the South. Mario Thompson, thank you for that. Abiodun Kayode, good evening to you. Dre, the new breed, according to you, the new breed of the Nigerian politicians are now badder than their old counterparts. I believe so. Now again, you said, Dre, the Nigerian political space is you scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's always been the case anyway. Taiwo, Akadiski, Wagbai, Akadiski, Diski Taiwo, that's my paddy, Akadiski. I've got a good news for you actually, Aka. Yes. Somebody, Alaja Folake Alawiye, asked me for your details and I forwarded it to her last night. Yes. And I've got another very good news for you. I'm not going to say that over the air. So I'm going to call you after the stream. My friend, Diski, Awo, Akogun, David Hamilton voice, 2, 3, 4. Washiri Baba. That's my man. Yes, you should always tune into Akadiski Taiwo on TV, on Akadiski Taiwo TV on Facebook and on YouTube. See, and then Aka is doing a great job. Everything I've been doing over 20 years ago, Aka is now, thank God for social media. Aka, you said Frank Bello Babao, Awo Akogun. Awo Akadiski. One love. Diski, old school daddy. That's my friend. Yes, Narada Franklin. You said again, Honorable Frank Bello. Yes, I checked that, and I think I did reply. You. Yes, Oluwaseun Emmanuel. Yes, you said 22 years. Yes. Okay, Peter Idaosa. You said we should watch this video, see how they loot your funds, southern funds. Okay. Watch the children. Let me post your comment and then, yeah, let me post it. Yeah, you said we should watch this video, see how they loot your friends' southern funds. Watch the children of northern governors. Look at the evil, corruption, criminals, looters. Watch the video to the end. Let's try and see if we can actually. We can't do it because you suggested it. Let's click on the link and see. Let's see. Let me click on the link. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna watch that because the stream does not allow me to actually. I should have just clicked on it actually. Okay, let me do it. Let me do it this way. Let me try this method to see if I can. No, it's not going to allow me to do that. I think I'll do that in the next stream. Dre, you said, by the way, by the way from Borno State can give in. That was what we did yesterday. Yeah, I touched on that, and a lot of people. Yeah, you tuned into that show yesterday. I'm not going to go into that. If you don't catch up with me, you're going to miss. Agawa Igebo Mabel. Yes, good evening. Yes, Dre, once again. The boy will be lucky if they don't recruit him into terrorism or the so-called bandits enterprise that will eventually push him towards that push due to hunger and bad leadership. That stream of that boy, this one, that's exactly what you are referring to. Let's quickly go down that lane once again and let's see. Yes, you are referring to this stream, this one. Yeah, you are referring to this one. Let's show this again back to those who probably missed it. Yes. You're referring to that. Let's show it to others to see.
This is Joshua. He's hungry. Today, he's not eaten any food. Literally nothing. He's not just hungry, he's starving. In all reality, Joshua will die of hunger-related disease, maybe not today, but not that too long in the future. He'll join the other 11,000 children who die daily of hunger-related diseases. Now, Joshua is not in some barren desert like the Sahara where there is no food. Literally, a 5-minute walk up this hill, there's a small supermarket where you can buy as much food as you really want or would need. Joshua's issue is that he's an orphan. His guardian neighbour is trying to raise her own 3 children by herself and then also look after Joshua and his little sister. But she has no job. How do you put food in the belly of your own children, let alone your dead neighbour's children? She tries, but what's her chances? She's got no education, she's got no unemployment benefits, she's got no social security. It's not that she's fallen through the cracks of the system, there is no system. She literally has no way to put food into Joshua's belly. This is Joshua. He watched today as some lucky children went to school. He so wishes he could go to school, but it costs 50 cents to go to school here. And he hasn't got 50 cents. 50 cents. He's not alone. Most people in this slum, they live on $1 or $2 a day. How'd you take the dollars that you earn and pay rent, buy some food, and still have 50 cents left over to pay for school fees? You just can't. He won't go to school ever. No education, no learning. He'll remain illiterate, not able to read or write. And Joshua will stay here and die in this slum. And along with maybe the other 60 million children in the next decade who live in the slums on our planet. Now, I know that the Bible has lots to tell us about the poor. In fact, there are over 2,000 verses in the Bible that tell us who seemingly read and follow the Bible that we should take the side of the poor and the oppressed. And we all know that if we follow Jesus, we're following someone who himself was poor. But theology is never done in a vacuum. You see, it's one thing to believe that God loves the poor. It's another thing to see it firsthand or see it through video and say, okay, God loves the poor, and because I love that same God, I should love the poor also. But who we listen to determines what we hear. Where we stand determines what we see. What we do determines who we are. So who are you? See, Joshua's only problem is that he was born in the wrong place. He didn't choose to be born here. So should he be condemned to a living hell now because of a choice he never made? And now something else is about to happen to Joshua and his family. It's about to get dark in this slum. And there are no lights. There's no police present. I mean, during the day, we see the chaos, we see the trash, we see the smell of sewage, we see people walking around, we see them barely surviving by their living. But at dark, we don't see what happens. 1 out of every 3 women in Haruma have been beaten or abused. Nearly 1 out of 2 10-year-old to 19-year-old girls, 45% of them, have been raped in this slum. Turn the sun off, and this slum and little Joshua live in fear of violence. And in the dark of night, no one knows what happens. No one's here filming. It's hidden, but it's real. But this is Joshua. He's still here. He can't escape. And what did he do wrong? Nothing. Nothing. What we do determines who we are. Is there someone out there who's willing to walk the way of Jesus, to be his hands and his feet? Is there something or someone who can pierce the darkness and bring light into even the darkest place on earth? So here's the good news. There are some incredible people who live in this slum who are walking the way of Jesus to help Joshua, to give him food, to give him a safe place to grow up, an education to empower him. You know, for 17 cents, food can be put in his belly. $35 a month will give him an education to empower him out of the cycle of poverty. And the good news is, you can join this movement. You can be a part of helping this Joshua and many other Joshuas. Join the movement to kick extreme poverty off the face of the planet and live out the gospel of Jesus Christ in a most powerful, real way.
them. Give generously to them so that they can help the poor African child. Yes. Guys, we have got leaders. Same continent that is all about trade. The same continent that is producing the biggest cobalt for the world, the main raw materials that they use in our computers, our handset, everything, your television screen, everything, even aeroplanes. Now they're using cobalt as a component of the airplane. Dre, yeah, I knew you were you were a little bit confused because you are based in Birmingham, in the Midlands. Wembley is in Middlesex. Wembley is Middlesex. Enfield is Hertfordshire. Wembley is Middlesex. Enfield is in Hertfordshire, and Enfield is just a stone throw away from Cheshunt and Broxbourne, and then on your way towards Cambridge on the A10. Akiibe, good evening. Yes, Narada Franklin, you said the Berlin conference. Okay, guys, thank you all for coming on to watch the stream. The time in London today is 18:23 p.m. 23 minutes past 6 o'clock London time. Today, Wednesday, the 10th day of the 11th month of November 2021. We've just treated episode 112 of the Bleeding Edge. The Bleeding Edge has been on for a while. Yes, we're going to carry on tomorrow. I won't say what particular time, but click the following from wherever of the Facebook pages you're watching it, and then follow me so that you get alert anytime I come live. And if you decide to watch it on either Twitter or YouTube, subscribe and then hit the bell icon. You will be notified. On Twitter, just click following on Twitter, because I stream simultaneously on all those platforms. If the studio provided the opportunity to stream on Instagram, maybe later on in the new year, people on Instagram will be able to pick up the stream as well. Let's bring the stream, today's show, to an end. I've been on 2 hours and 7 minutes exactly. Let's do it again tomorrow, because tomorrow we're still going to screw them up again. Perhaps tomorrow we will deal with some terrible grayish area from the southwest politics. We're going to dig deep, and I'm going to bring you out some raw facts and evidence tomorrow, so I can come live anytime. Just follow me and be prepared. Until next time, look, take good care of yourselves and don't do what I will not do. I hope you can see this new presentation of my look. Don't you like that? Don't you like that? I created that. See what I can't pay for it. I mean, no, I can do it myself, but I invested so much on software that can create such beautiful animation and the rest of it. Okay, guys, let's do it again tomorrow. Let's screw them up tomorrow. It's another day, and we will do it. I pray for God's blessing. I pray for God's guidance over you, your loved ones, and please make it a habit to love somebody. If you know you don't like anybody, don't go near them. Love someone, because Allah, Jehovah God, Tetragrammaton Sabaoth, Olodumare, is love. And until tomorrow, have a blessed evening, and please enjoy the rest of your night. God bless you, and good night.